I recently built a new home. I love fires and fireplaces and the talks and silences that happen around them. Etched into the stone above the mantel of my new fireplace is a single word: freedom. Of all the words that mark Braveheart in the spirits of those who have been moved by the story, that single word represents its essence more than any other. When I first went to Scotland in search of my roots, I found that another Wallace, William Wallace, had walked the Highlands 700 years before. I also discovered that my family had a coat of arms, a big surprise when your family comes from Lizard Lick, Tennessee. And we had a family motto, Pro Libertate, for freedom, and that was no surprise at all. Freedom has always been the holy grail at the center of my life. One of Jesus' most captivating statements for me was always, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." So in this story, I would like to tell you the truth. I would like to tell you as faithfully and freely as I can how Braveheart came to life, where it came from, and where it seems to be leading me now. To do this, I will speak about fathers and mothers too, about teachers, warriors, and sacred men and women. You don't need to be male to have a seat at the fireplace and open your heart. In fact, it is a great piece of the truth to understand that men and women aren't complete without each other. One of the most moving moments I ever experienced regarding Braveheart was at a charity screening in Austin, Texas a few years ago. I had not shown the movie in a full theater in many years, and about half the audience there that evening had never seen the film. At the end of the screening, I was to conduct a question and answer session, and during it, a young woman, only 19, who had barely been born when the movie first came out, stood up from the front row and said, "Mr. Wallace, I don't have a question. I just want to tell you something. My fiancé died 6 months ago, and before he died, he told me he wanted me to see Braveheart so I would understand the way he loved me." So the stories I will tell you now around this fireplace of the heart won't be a careful academic treatise. I would like to speak as honestly and openly as I would if you and I were sitting at my fireplace in front of that single word that means so much. Maybe together we can find not just truth, but a great truth, and together we can find freedom. A poem, Tales Around the Fire. To Scottish friends I lift a glass, to you who've kept alive the memory of heroes past across dark moors of time. To you who know this simple truth and show it near and far, it is the tales we tell ourselves that make us who we are. So let us drink to Scotland fair, its sorrows and its solace, and lift our glasses in the air to you and William Wallace. And all of you who feel the same, my sisters and my brothers, I'd rather be a man in your eyes than a king in any others. Randall Wallace, Braveheart, the novel, dedication. There are 4 father-son relationships in Braveheart. William Wallace and his father are the first. We also find his best friend, Hamish, and his father, both of whom fight alongside William Wallace. Then there is Robert the Bruce, whose father is dying of leprosy while trying to guide his son to the throne of Scotland. And the final father-son relationship is that of King Edward I of England, Longshanks, who is so deeply disappointed and hostile to Edward II. Then, of course, there is also Stephen of Ireland, who constantly and openly talks to God, referring to him directly as Father. Uncle Argyle is not William's father, but when the boy is left fatherless, Argyle steps into that role, and in doing so, he manifests every aspect of the Braveheart spirit. The father is love, attention, strength, loyalty, but he is so much more than any list of traits. A father and a mother are, at first, everything. That's how it feels to the parents, if not to the children. Anyone who is a father or a mother knows the feeling of massive responsibility that comes with the initial stages of parenthood, the overwhelming sense that all our children are or ever will become is in our hands. Later comes the humility, maybe even a sense of helplessness, that helps us realize the child has an identity, a purpose, a destiny that is separate from us.